Let's see. What else do we need for today? All right. Hello, everybody. My name is RODGON. I am an artist. I'm a designer. I'm a teacher. I'm a mentor. I'm an illustrator. And more importantly, today, I am your instructor. Hello. How are you guys doing? Alongside us, we have two of our moderators, Mr. Wes and Mr. Insomniac. Thank you for keeping the peace in my streams. Now, we are on a very cool day today. You guys want to know what day it is? It is last page of the sketchbook day. Boop, 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 boop. We are finishing a sketchbook today. Da, 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 da. Finishing a sketchbook, yay. Do, 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 do. All right, so what we do every single time we finish a sketchbook, we recap the most important parts of what we learned throughout the whole sketchbook. So there is going to be a bunch of doodles, a bunch of explanation today, and at the end of it, we got to finish it with a yoga drawing. So we got to draw ourselves in a yoga pose, and we're going to do it on a different piece of paper. We're going to finish off our sketchbook with a nice brown piece of paper. And it's going to be textured, and it's going to be cool, and it's going to look pretty. So we are going to use that maybe for half the page. I don't know if I want the whole page. I just want enough for my yoga pose that I like to do at the end. All right, so what I like to do with these is I just like to bend them over the edge. It's just origami paper, by the way. It's really cheap. Or construction paper. Just bend it over the edge, and then whenever you guys want to tape it, you guys just got to tape it right here. And then you guys have access to an extra page underneath if you really want to. But, it's for extra real estate. So, sketchbook recap. Sketchbook recap. Oh, you guys are super zoomed out. There you go. So, we're going to recap what we learned this time around our sketchbook. So, that's going to come from just observing what we have studied, and I'm just going to talk about it as being the most prominent things that we established during this whole sketchbook. And this whole book was all about proportions, and it was about anatomy and posing and everything like that. So we learned a ton, an absolute gigantic mess of things in this sketchbook, right? We learned how to pose things in every way possible. We learned to completely destroy the concept of hard positions because we just learned so much anatomy and perspective. And by the end of it, we are able to establish whatever we want with our characters and tell whatever stories we want because now we have access to that knowledge. Now we don't have to guess where things go, how things are planned, how things are functioning, and that is the leading pathway to being able to unlock that creativity that we all want. So let's go over what we learned during this whole book and what we refined as well. If you guys are going to stay for the lesson today, make sure that you guys are hitting that like button. If you guys aren't hitting that like button, there's really no benefit on my side if you guys don't help me share the knowledge or at least let people know that it's actually knowledge that is worth actually learning. So if the best way that you guys can help me, it's not about subscribing really. If you guys do like what I do, you guys are going to subscribe anyways. But if you guys want to share and like the stream as it's going on, that is the best way to help me out. So let's get me to, 15K. Let's get 15K likes, and then we will just continue. I'm not going to hold you guys ransom for this today. I just want to finish my sketchbook. So the very first thing we're going to do, we're going to go over the head, and we're going to go all the way down the body, okay? So the first thing that we learned about the head. What did we learn about the head? Well, a lot of basic things. We refined the whole technique of drawing with the RODGON method or triangle method. And we have been crazy effective at being able to establish this in a bunch of different styles. So this is going to be something that once I release it in my book is going to be incredibly helpful for a ton of people. Like it's going to essentially change the way that you guys approach the way you guys draw faces, because there's no guessing in this way. There's absolutely no guessing. Everything has a little placeholder and everything has like a connecting point. And if you guys learn that, it becomes really, really simple to be able to mask that into other styles. You don't have to stick to a comic book style or a cartooning style. You can apply every style to the same concept because you're just drawing a skull. And then you're applying your creativity to the skull. So that is something that you guys have to know, that it just clicked in this sketchbook. Like this just went completely off the rails and I'm able to draw pretty much faces from absolute nothing. It's so cool. Like, doesn't matter what shape I make, as long as I find the midline in a triangle, I can find the anatomy for it. That is how powerful this stuff is. So if you're into caricatures, if you're into character design, this is the stuff that you guys need to learn, because it's going to come with variation. Like things like the Loomis method and stuff like that, they teach you how to draw a realistic face. Yeah, it teaches you how to draw a realistic face really easy. But when it comes down to drawing something creative, that doesn't really tend to help all that much. So learning how to map the features in a way that you can change them to whatever styling you feel like is going to be, in my opinion, a much more convenient way of drawing. Especially for people that don't want to necessarily do portraits. They just want to do character design and they want to be able to draw their characters quickly, effectively, and with a variety. Like me. So be it women, men, kids, animals, whatever you feel like drawing, this concept applies the same way. And you can apply this to every single animal that has a skull. Anything that has a skull can be applied like this. And it's really, really cool. Dragons, monsters, anything like that is easily replicatable like that too. So that is something that I learned this sketchbook, and I was like, oh my God, this is so stupidly strong. And it's just a triangle. And then you just change the size of that like triangle to fit whatever other characters you want. And just change the size of the triangle to fit whatever character or situation you feel like drawing. If it's a human, you just got to give yourself a chin. If you don't have human features, you end up not drawing a chin. So you just end up drawing the triangle. Things like dogs, cats, stuff like that don't have a chin. They just have a little triangle nose. This little triangle also gives you access to knowing how your bottom jaw works for animals. So that's really, really convenient. So that is something that we discovered this sketchbook, and learning how to do that from every perspective was what I refined. So I learned how to mathematically approach faces in a way that looks fluid and not robotic, and is something that I want to ensure that I pass on to other people, because I know it's going to help a lot of people. Can I draw Luffy? Yes, I could draw Luffy, but I'm not doing fan art. That's not like we did fan art yesterday, I think. So we did a bunch of fan art yesterday. While we sang Disney songs, we were like drawing stuff. The girl from Encanto, Elsa, Bowser, Coco, Maui, Aladdin, the Trolls guys, Maui again, the I Lava You song, Scar, the Little Mermaid, Belle being a bitch, Rapunzel. It was gonna be Ariel again, and me as a Pokemon master. So we drew a bunch of fan art yesterday. So no fan art today. You guys get that once every blue moon. You guys get fan art once in a blue moon. So the faces has been really, really fun to understand the concept of just splitting it with a triangle and a line, and then following these lines to be able to find the edges of your face. By the bottom of your cheekbone up, you come up with the side of your face. From here, the top of the triangle is going to lead to the middle of your eyes. So that means that your eyeball is around that. Your eyeball goes from side to side, and it goes around your eyeball. This is your eyebrows. Your eyebrow tends to lead back into the middle of your eye. So you can do a little butterfly, and you have the cheekbone, and you have your eyebrow muscle. From there, you have the top and the bottom of your nose. As long as you draw a line, any line that you draw that connects the very top to the very bottom is your midline. That is the midline of your nose. That means that you have a little wing to this side and a little wing to this side. And you have yourself a nose. If you wanted to, you could add a little bit more depth and actually give it a front if you really, really wanted to. But for the most part, your noses are going to be comprised of drawing a pyramid that is that midline with whatever shape you want for your nose into a bottom section with a little wing. So you draw a triangle in the middle so you can draw a dot, connect all three lines, have your pyramid, change your nose bridge to whatever you want, and then draw your little wing to finish your nose. From there, your mouth goes down like a pyramid, or the triangle goes down, and it gives you your mouth space. Your mouth space also has a midline. That midline is going to be the middle of your teeth. And then your mouth wraps around your teeth. Around your teeth. So what you're doing with this little triangle is your teeth line. And what you do is you draw your mouth around your teeth line. And then you suddenly have a mouth. Right? It's just magical how that just happens. You just draw your triangle, your teeth line going down, your eye sockets, and then you literally just draw around that to draw where your mouth is supposed to go. Ta-da! Your nose goes in this little pocket. Your eyes go at the top of this little triangle. You can change the cheekbones to do different things. Like you can have them higher if you want by just changing that a little bit different. You can have them saggier if you want by bringing it down for like an old person or something. So all that is adjustable to fit whatever you feel like drawing. Now, if you guys want to get me to 25K, we will continue on to the next part that we actually made click during this whole structure. This was an eye-opening thing that I've never seen anybody else do, right? I've never seen anybody else approach things like this. If I would have loved it because this makes sense to me. This makes a lot of sense to me. The way that this is structured, it actually I actually understand it. Like I can see the lines go and connect from point to point. So it's like connect the dots, only it's with body parts. So as long as you think about it like that, it's going to become a little bit easier for you to be able to draw your characters. Okay? I hope I followed the live. Dang, I was thinking I could become a professional. You can. You can definitely become a professional in 3 years. And that's not undoable. But the amount of dedication that you would have to put in there in order to get there would be pretty high. Like you would have to constantly be prioritizing your artwork over a lot of other things. So if you want to get there in 3 years, that's why people go to college and stuff like that, right? To give yourself an excuse to be able to actually dedicate that much time to your shit. That's why people go to college for art. You know, a lot of the times it's because their careers won't allow them to have the time to do so. So they have to be like, oh my God, I got to go all out. Now I got to go into debt. Now I got to go do this because I got to force myself to do it. When they could have just been doing it while they have their other job, have income, and, you know, at the same time, not truly like go brainwash themselves in a whole structure of academical art. Because it's not always the best option. It's not always the best option to go to art school, even if you have the money to do so. It's not. Unless you're going to the very top-notch schools, you're really going to just get taught the same generic bullshit that you can find online. So you're better off literally learning on your own and not spending $50, $60, $80, $90,000. No, he's not concerned with what? Oh, what about the threat of AI? All right, let's watch my private videos. Harlots, we don't want none of your nonsense here. You guys can go do that somewhere else. Thank you very much. So again, it's a simple way to draw faces that can help you understand a little bit more how you can facilitate the structure of the human body. So that was really, really helpful for me. AI can't draw, not yet. Not yet. And that's fine, even if it does. Okay, let me explain this to you guys. Okay, the reason that you're scared is because you don't have the confidence yet in your art skills. The same reason that I'm not scared about a more dominant artist or a more predominant person that's going to take over what I already do. Like, if you guys are going to be scared of the people that can copy you, replicate you, and outdraw you. That's what you should be worried about. You shouldn't be worried about a computer. Be worried about a person that can actually do what you want to do and not be scared about a computer. That's who you have to be worried about. Because that's the person that's going to take your job. It's not going to be the computer. The people that take your jobs are people like me when I go into the workplace, right? People like me that absolutely can do absolutely anything we want, but we just choose to go get the paycheck. That is the people that normally get the jobs. And, you know, it takes a lot of effort to be able to to beat people like me when I go into the industry. I don't like working for other people, so I don't find myself in there as much as you guys think. But there's a lot of people with capabilities way beyond what I can do that are competing for your guys' jobs. And if you don't actually take the time to, you know, get better at what you do, you'll never be able to surpass that. And you're going to feel like nobody likes you, nobody wants your stuff, everybody rejects you, blah, 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 blah. But it's not necessarily the case. It's not that they're rejecting you, it's that they just have options that have more experience than you, options that have more confidence than you, options that don't really think like, oh, well, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do this. That's the difference between most of the people that go into the job market. It's not necessarily, oh, can we do that? Yeah, all of us can do that. Most of the time, all of us can do all the work. That's not going to be like something super hard. Right? The Photoshop work, the like layouts, the stuff like that is easy. All that stuff is incredibly simple. If you just know how to use Photoshop and have a minuscule amount of creativity, you can probably do most graphic design work. Most. I'm not going to say all, but most. That's why, unfortunately, those jobs are getting overtaken by computers. Graphic design is a job that's going to be in danger. Marketing is going to be a job that's in danger, mostly because it's just something that is not really all that difficult for, since we have so much variety of it already, we have samples upon samples upon samples of that stuff. So it's going to be really, really easy for computer algorithms to just overtake that. So you have to be a versatile artist, okay? You have to be a person that's able to actually like adjust and change and flow with different things that happen in the industry. If you find yourself being single track mind, that is going to really lead you to a path of like feeling insecure and feeling unsure about your future when a computer can do what you do. And that's what we want to avoid by becoming a little bit more versatile. Okay? AI can easily learn your style if someone feeds your work. Yeah, absolutely. And if that ever happens, I will use that AI engine to facilitate my life. If it ever learns my style, I'm the only, well, not maybe not the only one that will be able to feed it properly, but I will be able to create more artwork without having to draw it, which is awesome. And then that way I can get more stuff out. Then I can get more like ideas that I have in my brain out. Eventually creating the whole studio and available to me. Not through an industry or a corporation. It could eventually be a whole studio for you. If you use it correctly, it's all your assistants. That's a lot of employees that can be bypassed, not replaced, bypassed, because you wouldn't have the ability to hire a ton of people anyways. Like me, I don't like to take advantage of people. I don't like to hire people and then not be able to pay them, or not hire them and pay them the amount that they need, right? So if I want to do everything on my own, AI is a godsend, because I have the ability to replace people that can do work that I can't get done, but I don't trust other people to do it. So in that sense, it's very beneficial, because you can make yourself a one-man army. But if you see it as a replacement, that's a different story. If you see it as a replacement, it's because unfortunately it's going to sound mean, but it's going to be a lot of insecurities. Right? It's a lot of insecurities that keep you in that mindset that something is threatening your likelihood or your livelihood, when in reality it's not. Oh, AI is. I mean, we've all seen Skynet, right? We've all seen Skynet. So we've all seen Terminator. We've all seen what happens when we give AI a lot of power. But again, again, they can't be doing any worse. If they take over, they're not going to be doing any worse than the people are already doing it. So at least rest assured that they can't mess it up more. If they get rid of us, you know, hey, maybe that's just the logical approach. And I think that we even humans believe that. Rod, check request. Request what? Oh, What's up, dude?
What's up? Hey, I was just gonna. Why won't it won't show my camera? Oh well. I was gonna put this to bed for you very quickly. Um, so as somebody who does AI engineering, I actually do it all day, every day, except for my 30-minute lives in the morning. I will tell you first off, we are generations. I mean, 10s, 20, 30 years away from the fear that people have. I sit on panels, I do everything. Uh, the problem with artwork and AI that it's coming back to us as an AI company, people who are using it for this. I won't tell you who I work for, but there's no feeling in it. They say there's no way to feel what's going on in your pictures anymore. There's no way to understand the context. And most people, when it tries to draw people or things like that, they come out with six fingers, four heads, like two and a half legs. I mean, it's not right. It's like trying to say I'm going to drop a 2 week old infant into a construction site and expect him to run a forklift. It just
Oh no, no, no. The thing is, I don't think people understand the power of having instant reference at your command. It doesn't matter if they have six fingers. If they have five